affected by divorce. That's an ugly thought.
Very ugly thought, in my opinion.
I know it. You don't call him Pickle Dick for nothing.
How does this whole price thing work?
If you sign me, then I shuffle some cards and I hand it.
Awesome. Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And don't ask about that big jumping comment. It's already done the digging, and Rebus Canibus will do the jumping tomorrow. River web permission and authorities provided. I'm going to be singing in a moment if we can't sit down. I think I'll do Moon Over Hawaii. So Rebus Canibus is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, skin and bone. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You won't 16 tons. What do you get? Can people sit down with another day? Hold a friend deeper in bed. Say, baby, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. Hold my soul to the government store. I was born one morning in the drizzling rain, fighting and buzzing with my middle name. I was born in a cage and I can't break my old mama line. In a hot tub, I'm gonna chuck my style. Thank you. Can you have a seat so we can get started? I can't remember the rest of that. Oh, man. That's not my fault.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. The comet has done the digging, and now Dare Demon Rebus Canibus will do the jumping tomorrow, rivers and authorities permitting. I guess there's no recording that no one knows. All right, let me find out who's first up. Thank you for this. Where's my glasses? Where's my heart and mind?
Thank you.
Kellyanne Parker. Kellyanne Parker in the house. Kellyanne Parker, you're new. Where are you? Come on, people. Come on, let's do it. A new person. Treat her right. Give her some respect. Let's hear some. I didn't hear any animal noise up there. Come on, people. Oh, let me. There you go. She's a professional. Don't do this at home.
So how much time do I have?
Oh, you got 5 minutes, my dear.
Oh, okay.
And train yourself nicely. Here she goes, ladies, gentlemen, so-called.
Using the term loosely.
Very, very loosely. Oh, you got to get really close to the mic, or else it does not. Here, let me raise it up for you.
Okay. It's a little better.
There we go.
Too loud. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, in math and science, there is a way to find a variable, and in order to do that, you need to have something called a constant. And also, in the movie Back to the Future, in order to return to your original time, you also needed to have a person, and that person was called your constant. So this is called my constant. All right. It's a work in progress. While you're leaving, I grabbed a tendril specter of you, and I stashed her away. I keep her as my talisman, and her name is my mantra. I use them when the first world becomes unbearable and I retreat to the other. She blithely brushes away all ugliness in ways that sandpaper and acid cannot. I keep her close and safely tucked away. She is my constant and keeps me from floating to the other inner world where I feel most at home. I glide between the two worlds, never really belonging to either, and only truly belonged in that first world when she was still there. Okay, how much time do I have?
You got another couple minutes.
Okay, that's not enough time. All right.
All right. Give her a round, please. A newbie. Oh, yeah. I thought you were.
I'm not going to do the other thing.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought you were staying.
No, I'm chickening out. What can I say? And I just picked up the wrong thing.
It's okay. It's a device.
Yeah. Okay, and so this other thing is called solitude. I love to spend time alone. The perfect vacation for me would be that I'm by myself with lots of books and a pen and paper or iPad by the ocean with no one talking to me. That sounds paradise.
Now we're talking.
So this is called solitude. Solitude. I find comfort in solitude, and it is misunderstood and often mistaken for loneliness, but it is not the same. Loneliness is an unfathomable hole, a vacant crater, and solitude is different. Quiet conversation with yourself, being alone but not feeling alone, comfortable quiet, where the outspoken word would shatter the calm stillness of quiet and is unwelcome. Quiet is its own language, one understood only by the speaker-listener as one and the same, one's own true first language. I speak it well and I do not pass it on to others. Spoken here in the code of poetry, seen and not felt by others, as they would see their green and not mine. Practice your language, for therein lies all answers. One's true and just as if given to you by a higher power. And perhaps it is. Quiet conversations with you and your God. Some call it conscience, others inner self. I have my own name, and I keep it to myself.
Nicely done. And now the Sandarelle returns to the microphone. He was the keynote, but the keynote always reads somebody else's poems, and then they come back to the open to read theirs. Welcome him back as a keynote, Richard the Sandarelle, as we like to call him. Actually, we like to call him that, but he doesn't like it when we do that. There we go.
What?
I'm just whispering to my dearly beloved wife of many thousands of years.
Well, thank you, Dan Brady.
You're welcome, my dear.
Thanks, Dan Brady.
Thank you. My mother thanks you. I won't do that one.
Anybody out there in the universe that you might know who wants to start taking over this gentleman's kingmanship, management, stewardship, whatever you want to call it.
Assisting, helping,
Assisting, helping. Please volunteer. This man and the rest of us need you. Thank you.
Thank you for that public health service announcement.
Well, I have a new one in here somewhere, but I'm going to start with this one.
Oh, that one?
That you remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, nobody's going to hear it before. Just black and white. Just black and white. Sometimes, yes, sometimes I feel like crying in the progress we think we've made. Scabs are still not healed and are easily removed, making wounds fresh. Breath taken, the word there, that looks and asks, what are you doing here? Same as you, telling, living their stories. The question may be asked of our Gringo brothers and sisters, what are they doing here? All that has been going on since the great discovering is taking what was not yours and to take and kill for, never giving. A lot of death. A lot of real estate and resources sold over and over and over and over. It's 21st century, and it just keeps on going and going and going and going and gone. It's light that shines dark, that radiates its darkness against the light. and together it is our other halves with all the flavors and colors in between. While others only see things in black and white, we see the beauty in color, radiated by light, absorbed in blank. Move, let's move, walk, dance, and beauty together, so no one has to hear the question, what are you doing here? Let's flick the sweat off our brows, let it splash where it may, even onto the faces of our Caesars, kings, and Georges, so that they know they have no places in our lives.
Bravo. Thank you.
I wasn't waiting for applause. I was waiting to find the next piece.
Well, we applauded anyhow.
Okay, thank you.
You know us. Give us a drink and we'll follow it in.
It is 50 years, February 2017, coming back from San Diego from Vietnam. Before entering San Diego Bay, we hear the music from the Stones, Between the Buttons, music different from what they were doing before we left for the slaughter. Everyone is trying to get between the buttons. It's the shortness of 8 months. The murder of Vietnamese in their homes and homelands continues to rise as USA continues its war against itself. More cities in flames. Blacks dying because, well, they're black. Jails fill in the new form of slavery that began after the Great Freeing. And they say the Civil War ended. Connections? No, I can't make no connections. I find myself isolated. Some shipmates score an apartment right off Ocean Beach. Smoke my first grass. My tension, anger, sadness left. I was dancing again, enjoying my short stay. I'm lucky to have grown up with the radio stations at night where I could pick up stations playing the blues, the real rock and roll R&B, gospel, Motown, and Chicago to the north. I now discover Captain Beefheart, Frank Zappa, The Doors, just to begin. My old self still alive, but new beginnings are upon me and the planet.
Make sure you got the middle.
Okay? That's it?
You got your.
I'll do the one short one.
All right.
This is called Waiting. There's some people here probably haven't heard it, some who've heard it to me. It was the African who turned me on. It was the Aboriginal from Turtle Island that gave me my heart. It was the European that gave me my sorrow. It was the American who sent me to war and tried to keep me ugly. It was the Vietnamese that gave me forgiveness. May I forgive myself? Come back to the hoop. The elders are still waiting.
Richard Zimmerman. Wendy, come on up, Wendy, and then give her a nice round when she comes up. And then we got Karen Gregg. Is Trump Raby still here? Trump Raby. Oh, wow. And then we got Hal, Claire, Clyde, the mini feature of the evening. Theta Barra.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. And what a performance. I was very moved. I was very touched. And I think that this project you're doing is what we need in the whole world. For people to talk to each other from all different walks of life. You know, otherwise it's just going to be everyone getting more and more scared and more angry and getting worse and worse. So, my first poem is called Now is the Only Time. There is a growing realization that every single moment counts, and why this is so, and that what happens every day is important, not only for my personal journey, but for humanity as a species. I find myself dwelling upon things that have happened and the whys that spring up in my thoughts. Or I ask the unanswerable question, where am I and where is humanity going? And anticipate the coming about of undesirable events that seem beyond control. If I am not living in my mind, asking why about the earlier or what about the later, the idea of escaping to some better time still lures me to forget the signs that some progress from the past has been made, or to devalue the promise of a future not yet transpired. It can be hard to remember that now is the only time there is, and consciously live life guided by such an idea. I forget to put the brakes on rushing from one thought and activity to another so that I can savor my experiences more and feel connected with the larger meanings of life. Even though the idea sounds sensible and I intend to move in that direction, it still remains difficult to do, despite the need for a more emotionally intelligent approach to life's built-in constraints with time, and despite the need for a refreshing change of pace. But in the passing of years, applying the essence of that concept makes increasingly perfect sense as time marches, or should I say flies, by. The teaching has become full of significance with multiple layers of meaning. I've come to understand better as time has never ceased to slip away, no matter how much planning has been done, that now is the only time there is, and the only moment I can truly live or make a real difference is the singular present moment. Life's unpredictable nature and the challenges heightened by the demands of time have made learning to live in the present moment such a boon to improve the quality of life. While attending a meditation workshop, I discovered the Buddhist wisdom practice of witnessing, which in combination with exploratory belief systems brought an expanding peace of mind, fulfillment, and greater ease in solving problems. Little by little, I found myself beginning to shift my attention away from what my thoughts are saying about the past and the future, which I don't notice while instantly reacting that my thoughts are using me, to the observer within that can watch me thinking, the self that is the real me. I can see that I am not my thoughts, and there is freedom to use the mind while dwelling in the present to better deal with the pains of life. Herein and from this place of knowing, a deepening awareness of life can grow, and I can question the limiting nature of assumptions, making room for clarity and purpose. And so, when remembering and able to keep my intention, I trade in the mistake of lamenting not being able to do with my body what my mind can picture with far more ease, and not being able to get other people to do what I wish them to do, and not being able to change the world, let alone my country, or even just myself, as I'd like things to be, and take small steps, no matter how infinitesimal they may seem at first, in the spirit of carpe diem, and seize the moments of any day possible that I am fortunate enough to enter consciously with a pure heart and a higher thought force, to be an actor who chooses rather than a reactor who loses the fleeting passing moment's opportunity to live and make life a little better right where things are as they are. Let me find beauty where there is ugliness, plant seeds of harmony where there is discord, and trust love when I or anyone is angry or afraid, or without the hope life calls forth and offers for our finding.
Thank you. Wendy, beautiful. No. All right. Karen Melander McGoon is next. Then we have Greg Pond, Trump Rabies, Howard on his anniversary, Clyde Always the Mini, Julie Julie Boyce, who's new, and then Thea Rose, also new. We got somebody else that I got to talk to. Huh?
If I sit down, somebody asked, Wendy asked if I'd like to sit down. I said if I sit down, I'll never get up again.
Ah, well,
I'm giving
that's
you
true.
this. I'm finding little pieces of my life. So this is from the first musical that I ever wrote, called Lily, a musical about Lily Langtry. It starts, a comet crossed the sky, and in a flash I knew that she'd walked by. 1,000 sparks of lightning, all wrapped up in silk. And of course, that's Lily Langtry. But anyway, anybody wants that? It is old style stuff. This is not a CD. This is not a DVD. This is, what do you call them? Cassettes.
They still make them.
Don't worry, that's my era, so I know what a cassette is. But I think, you know, I'm
All right.
the oldest among you.
Wait a minute. All right.
Oh, I'm up there. Okay. This is all weather related, and I just could not get involved with government this week. So it's written pretty recently, all of this, and pretty much having to do with rain, which is, when it's weather, it's been really, really a very interesting. You pray for rain, and then you get it, and you get it, and you get it, and then everything falls apart, and you're still getting the rain. You're still saying, it's a good thing. But we really should have fixed those dams earlier, maybe? Anyway, okay. My husband is a coastal engineer, so I'm not the one saying this, but he was always, during the drought, he was like, you guys, you got to get out there and fix the dams, and fix the infrastructure, and maintain, because it's not going to be dry forever. Yes, all right. This is rain in February 2017. Rivulets streamed down my window. Yesterday, half a tree had been downed where I was walking down a San Francisco hill. The dams are crumbling for lack of infrastructure. As drought turns to floods and water becomes king of its California empire, washing the streets clean while forming puddles with debris, children trudge through the alleyways, umbrellas combating the winds, sun hidden behind layers of clouds, tips gray buckets into the streets and over our roofs, laughing behind her dense veil at the nearly full moon that didn't stand a chance last night, trying desperately to shine in my window. I remember living for a while where the moon always, it just always came into this particular window. I don't live in that place right now, but it always is amazing. I was like, there you are again, you know. Okay. Today the clouds hung listlessly, etching gray lace across the horizon, veiling the sun for moments as she invited them for tea, just to brighten their spirits, spilling a few drops from her boiling kettle into a sullen sky. A cat's tail lies upon the bay horizon, softly curled above the headlands, resting under shadowed mountains, disembodied from its corpus, dissipating into fragments burned off from the heat it craves, brushing windows in the bay, curling into sunny spaces on soft sinking shadow places, just a tale of foggy softness, disappearing in the morning, melting under solar brilliance into moving golden waters, shimmering tale of cool forgetting, curves and waits of tired suns setting. There's a very, I'm only, because I probably would never do it another time. My daughter-in-law's bird that she'd had 25 years died a few days ago. And my son wrote to me and said the little birdie died. We knew that the little birdie was sick, and they did everything. They took her everywhere, and she had her in a little pouch, and oh my. Goodbye, Dusky. Where does the chirp of a tiny bird go when he passes into spirit? Where do his cheerful complaints, his chatter and delight in mourning find expression, as the voices of our loved ones echoing in a spirit realm bounce about in empty rooms, wrapping us in ribbons of memories?
Thank you. Aaron Melinda Magoo of the San Francisco Melinda Magoo. Greg Pond in the house. Greg Pond. The Honorable, well-known, regarded, dulcet of tone, respectful of heart, heartful of mind, mindful of heart, and I will now be quiet. You're welcome, anytime. Just tell me to shut up.
Okay, I've got 2 poems. One that's not mine. And yes, I need that.
All right.
That one was written by Naomi Long Magic. And the poem is entitled Alabama Centennial. They said, wait. Well, I waited. For 100 years I waited. In cotton fields, kitchens, balconies, and bread lines, and back doors, on chain gangs, in stinking colored toilets, and crowded ghettos, outside of schools and voting booths. And some said later, and some said never. Then a new wind blew, and a new voice rode its wings with quiet urgency, strong, determined, sure. No, it said, not never, not later, not even soon. Now, walk. And other voices echoed the freedom words. Walk together, children, don't get weary. Whispered them, sang them, prayed them, shouted them, walk. And I walked the streets of Montgomery until a link in a chain of patient acquiescence broke. Then again, sit down. And I sat down at the counters of Greensboro. Ride. And I rode the bus for freedom. Kneel. And I went down on my knees in prayer and faith. March. And I'll march until the last chain falls, singing, we shall overcome. Not all the dogs and hoses in Birmingham, not all the clubs and guns in Selma can turn this tide. Not all the jails can hold these young black faces from their destiny of manhood, of equality, of dignity, of the American dream. 100 years past due. Now. Alabama Centennial by Naomi Long Magic. And now I'd like to share, just before I came, I was listening to the news. Why am I doing that, right? And I heard that the Trump administration had just rescinded a Obama administration ruling that basically allowed transgender youth to use the bathroom that they identify with. And Trump administration rescinded that order, and now it's back to the states to decide. So, Newports and stale Chanel. As night to morning after fell, she walked alone and smiled the smell of Newports and stale Chanel. Wrapped around an endangered skin, she bore claw marks from the original owner around her eyes and chin. She was so much older than she tried to be. No layers of sweet makeup could ease the creases in her face, with always at least 2 runs along the snake-shaped stocking seams. Thick black liner, lashes, fried wig slightly askew. Feet puffed and stuffed in pumps, too small by one size or 2. She seldom spoke, but when she did, her voice, thick, husky, and cigarette-soaked, was barely audible, probably choked by the apple in her throat. Her nails manicured and long bore rough knuckles on hands that didn't belong to a lady refined beyond her wildest dreams. Blue smoke and flicked ashes. A Newport dangled in slanted fashion. Slow burns into empty space, where she waits for the next offer, insult, or exchange that will help her get to B from A and pay the monthly rent, though barely making a dent to complete her transgender dreams. Polish and gloss, from hand to mouth, she's lived this way for as long as it seems, transcending beyond gay to a much too made up during the day lady of the evening. Thank you.
Great song. All right. Trump rabies. Trump rabies.
Oh, there he is.
Hold on to your Trump rabies.
I think I might.
Are you going to start from there? Oh, there he goes.
Okay, here we go. There you go.
I had all the answers. And then life raped me of all the questions. Or how I stopped worrying and learned to love. Führer, Donald Trump. Donald Trump, hire me as your sex apprentice. Don't betray our love for politics turned showbiz. Who cares how high the rent Putin pays on your booty is? I want to itch with Trump brand scabies. Want to have Trump babies. I'm running crazy in the streets with Trump political rabies. Donald, take me away from rabble with the erotic undertones of your babble, because you speak in a tortured ideological scrabble, while the media mangle and grope and grapple. Listening to you is like hearing Adam eat the apple, spreading juice all over himself like mango snapple. Don't build a wall between your heart and mine, you Republican queen. I promise me ripping you is just a dream. It's true, I do want to immigrate into you, you sexy man. Don't worry, I'm 100% not Mexican, so don't whip that thing out again. Oh, my Donald Trump, I want a finger and stroke that dead yellow animal taxidermied and entombed on your head. While we lie in the Waldorf Astoria presidential suites head. When Congress hears our passionate thrills, I'm sure they'll have Goldman Sachs pay our room service bills. Your politics are heinous, and your policies will pain us. Yet, I want your maniacal rhetoric shoved up my anus.
You got it, buddy!
It won't hurt for long. Less than a decade of Donald Trump tears. At most 8 years of realized Donald Trump years. So, Donald, fuck us in fits of fascism. Dishon us with your wit and wisdom. Choke us with your words until we're sick. Donald Trump, you're so hot.
He's hot!
So why not my dick?
Trump rabies, ladies and gentlemen.
The Supreme Court currently has in its docket a writ of mandamus. That gives them, if granted, the authority to nullify both the general election and the primaries if they choose to do so as a remedy. Last Friday, February 17th, the Justice Department declined to respond in writing before the Tuesday the 21st deadline, which was yesterday. On Saturday, the 18th, Trump restarted his presidential campaign. They declined in writing to respond because 17 other executive branch agencies besides DOJ have insisted that yes, cyber warfare interference in our election by foreign powers occurred in 2016. That's not under debate, really. What is debatable is whether a cyber warfare incursion that interfered with our election qualifies as foreign invasion. It's a technology and culture question that's critical, because if it does, the Constitution grants the court complete authority to implement any remedy they choose to implement. Not just the one requested, nullification of the general election and primary. Any result.
You live in a pipe fucking dream?
Well, the likelihood that they'll hear oral arguments at this point is slim to none. The likelihood they would grant nullification, even if they heard oral arguments, is arguably lower than that. If they choose to hear oral arguments, the possibility they will grant nullification is there.
Okay. All right, we got to go. We got to get the next person up. Thank you. Give her a clap for ladies. Hal Robbins, ladies and gentlemen. We got Clara, Clyde, Julie, Thea.
This is by James Joyce.
Hey, nobody knows who that is.
It's the author.
Come on, but let him go. We got time is
I hear an army charging upon the land, and the thunder of horses plunging foam about their knees. Arrogant in black armor, behind them stand, disdaining the reins, with fluttering whips, the charioteers. They cry into the night their battle name. I moan in sleep when I hear from afar their whirling laughter. They cleave the gloom of dreams, a blinding flame clanging upon the heart as on an anvil. They come shaking in triumph their long green hair. They come out of the sea and go running by the shore. My heart, have you no wisdom thus to despair? My love, my love, my love, why have you left me alone? And this is called A Welsh Incident by Robert Graves. But that was nothing to the things that came out from the sea caves of Crickcirth yonder. What were they? Mermaids? Dragons? Ghosts? Nothing at all of any things like that. What were they then? All sorts of queer things. Things never seen nor heard of nor written about. Very strange, un-Welsh, utterly peculiar things. Oh, solid enough they seemed to the touch, had anyone dared it. Marvelous creation, all shapes and sizes, and no sizes. All new, each one perfectly unlike his neighbor, yet all came moving slowly out together. Describe just one of them. I am unable. What were their colors? Mostly nameless colors. Colors you'd like to see. But one was puce, or perhaps like crimson, though not purplish. Some had no color. Tell me, had they legs? Not a leg nor a foot amongst them that I saw. But did these things come out in any order? Who was present? What o'clock was it? What was the day of the week? How was the weather? I was coming to that. It was 3:30 on Easter Tuesday last. The sun was shining. The Harlech Silver Band played Machov Yesse on 37 shimmering instruments, collecting for Carnarvon's Fever Hospital Fund. The populations of Poverly, Crickcare, Borthmaddock, Portmaddock, Pembrindine, Rife were all assembled. Crickcare's mayor addressed them in good Welsh and then in fluent English, twisting his fingers in his chain of office, welcoming the things. They came out on the sand, not keeping time to the band, moving slowly seaward at a snail's pace, till at last the most odd, unaccountable thing of all, which scarce one man there could see for wonder, did something, recognizably a something. Well, what? It made a noise. A frightening noise? No. A musical noise? The sound of scuffling? No. But a very loud, respectable noise, like groaning to oneself in chapel just before the second psalm. What did the mayor do? I was coming to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hal Robbins, Dr. Hal. All right. Clara Sue is next. Give her a nice round. Then we have the Clyde Always Show coming up. Julie Thea. As we say in France, we love it.
I'll do the commercial first.
After the commercial break.
Because my poem is very short.
Oh, is it now?
Yes. Greg Pond and I will be reading at Flores bookshop in Pacifica this Saturday at 7:30. So you're all welcome to come.
So this is kind of like a preview. You and then he. And you'll get
Greg and I will be reading their translations of the Tao Te Ching.
Huh?
And my friend David Wong, who plays the 7-string zither called Wu Qing, will be accompanying me on some of the translations. So hope you can come. Okay, so is the theme still Hesse or is that finished?
Well, no, editor to the letter, editor to the letter, or Pithy the Fool, or what you just said.
Oh,
we are multifarious and various. Yes, we are fine.
So this is what I have. Hesse. After the incessant chatter, alternative facts offered on a plate with apples and oranges, beautiful fruits.
See? And now, as if you didn't know any better, and we don't, the Clyde Always Show he's our mini feature, so he has a little extra time like that. Then we have Julie Thea and perhaps more if we have time for that. We're ready to go. He's on. He's a swinging dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come on, step right up, folks. Well, grab yourself a front row seat before they come, and they're going fast. You don't want to miss this. It's time for another exciting installment of the Clyde Always Show with me. You're always clever, always handsome, always charming host, Clyde Always, and I ain't no common carnival barker. I am the bard of the lower hay. And this is the tale of Devin and the vegan cappuccino. Once upon a time, in the hippest, most happening city there ever was, there lived a handsome and sinister devil named Devin. Devin had fiery crimson skin and 2 gigantic horns, and he had a forked tail, and he wore his hair in a gloriously disheveled man bun, which he never ever took down, as it would give him advice from time to time. Devin worked in a pretentious coffee house that was built out of reclaimed popsicle sticks and primitive light bulbs, and rumor had it that he himself had forged the wrought iron fixtures in the fires of hell. But one day, while Devin was obnoxiously banging his metal milk pitcher over and over again, swirling the froth within and peering into it discerningly, there came, waltzing through the door of the cafe, the most beautiful girl in skin-tight spandex yoga pants and a tank top revealing 2 full sleeves of the cutest fucking new school tattoos he'd ever seen. And she skipped narrowly up to the counter and batted her little eyelashes at him, and she begged with the slightest of wine. She said, "Hi, have you got me almond milk?" So Devin paused his tapping and swirling a moment to listen to what his man bun had to say, and the thing whispered eerily into his ear and said, "Go ahead, take her. She's asking for it." So Devin the Devil put on his most charming of smiles and replied with a matter of fact. He said, "Sure thing, little mama, but that's going to cost you a little extra." And the girl pathetically went, "But how much?" And Devin barked back, "Nothing really, sweetheart, just your soul." And suddenly, from the depths of the milk pitcher came the sickening sounds of the screams of the damned. As rising up out of his rim was a tremendous cloud of the blackest of bats, plus witches and skeletons, scarecrows and gnats, not to mention animated instruments of torture and a whole parade of evil circus clowns. The portal screamed as the entire cafe around her morphed and melted into a sizzling lake of fire, and she found herself stranded on an island with nowhere to run, while leering right in her face was Devin the Devil and his devious bun. He seized her by the shoulders, and he growled through clenched and razor-sharp teeth. He said, "Surrender your soul, sweetheart, and the vegan cappuccino will be yours." But the girl stood tall and silent and glared back defiantly, and breaking free from his grasp, turned her back on the devil, revealing 2 perfectly symmetrical and adorable angel wings tattooed right there on her shoulder blades, and from the ink sprang forth the brightest of white lights and a hail of feathers in heaven's song, and the top one hissed like a pile of snakes as Devin tried desperately to shield his eyes, and the girl took flight, transforming all the little hideous horrors of the underworld into puppies and kitties and newborn lambs, and replaced the lake of lava with a puddle of strawberry non-dairy frozen dessert. Devin writhed and thrashed in it as the angel descended down on top of him and withdrew from a purse a pair of sparkling scissors and cut the bun from the top of his head and cast it into the milk pitcher and steamed the demonic locks into oblivion. Then Devin, feeling charitable, he stood and dusted himself off, and he prepared for the girl a most silky and elegant vegan organic fair trade cappuccino, and he presented it to her free of charge, and he asked her just ever so delicately, he said, "Hey, you want to go out this Saturday?" And the girl spat back as she walked out the door, "Go to hell, cue ball." Thanks everybody, that's Devin the Vegan Cappuccino.
Tonight's episode of the Clyde Away Show has been brought to you in part by the following.
Oh, yeah.
Vegetarian bagel shop, vegetarian bagels, vegetarian bagel shop, vegetarian bagel. No turkey, no tuna, no salmon, no ham, no bacon, no salami, pepperoni, prosciutto, anchovy, no bologna, none of that. No lard, no corned beef, roast beef, pulled pork, pate, foie gras, no tongue, no tripe, no chicken breast, no goddamn highfalutin lobster salad neither. Cause it's a vegetarian bagel shop, vegetarian bagels, vegetarian bagel shop, vegetarian bagel. So what do they got? Got lettuce, got pickles, got olive oil, hummus and tahini, got pepperoncini, got lots of garlic, got sprouts, got cucumber, celery, some peanut butter jelly and cream cheese, tofu, quinoa, kidney beans, local, organic, handcrafted, sustainable, fair trade, reclaim, reuse, recycle, compostable packaging. How green, 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 and it's all gluten-free down at the Vegetarian Bagel Shop. Vegetarian bagels, vegetarian bagels.
vegetarian
Bagel.
We now returning to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget to visit the vegetarian bagel shop for all of those vegetarian bagel needs. Up next tonight, this is for all of you Sunday newspaper doers and readers and things like that. It's called A Real Puzzle. Oh, Daddy, please tell me why Grandpa is dead. Tell me why the embalmer has filled him. Could it be that a coconut fell on his head? Oh, Daddy, please tell me what killed him. Now, son, you can see his old noggin is fine, and your Gramps never went to the tropics. Look, it won't bring him back if we whimper and whine, so let's tackle some happier topics. Oh, Daddy, please tell me why Grandpa has croaked. Why is Grandpa all purple and bloated? I think maybe on crackers and cheese whiz he choked, and then all of his innards exploded. Now, son, you know well that your gassy old Gramps couldn't tolerate lactose or gluten. Would you kindly shut up before you give yourself cramps and cut out all your hollers and hooting? Oh, Daddy, please tell me why Grandpa's as stiff as a board and he never will soften. Was it poison or lightning or fall off a cliff? Tell me, how did he get in that coffin? All right, then, I'll tell you, you dastardly turd. All your questions are driving me cuckoo. See, what did your Gramps in was the shock he endured when he finally solved a Sudoku. We got time for 30 more seconds?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, here we go. So this one's going out to all the millennials in the house, and I've revamped it since last week, so I'm glad you're here, especially you. I like you, whoever you are. Come back again sometime. Another announcement. Mostly everything I just did you can find in my newzine, Hipsteriferous, written and illustrated by me. It's only $5, which is a steal, and there's one up for a door prize, so stick around to the end of the show. And here it is, without any further ado, like literally annoying. Like literally, he was dumb as a turkey. Like literally, he would brag like a mule. Like literally, what a prick and a jerk. He's a literal shit show and asshole or two. Like literally, he was driving me crazy. Like literally, he was getting my goat. Like literally, I was smart and Scorsese and literally jumped like right down his throat. And now literally, he's asleep with the fishes. Now literally, I'm just so full of beans. Now literally, we've got all of our wishes. Perhaps now he knows what life literally means. Thanks for listening, everybody. Tune in next time for another funny episode.
All righty, our mini feature of the evening. That's why we have him there. Julie Boyce, 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 Julie Boyce. I shouldn't do that, but I did.
And I galloped, so
Thank you.
there's that. Awesome! So you're all still here, and so am I. So another round of applause for everyone for being here.
Hey!
Yeah, thank you, Clyde, for the energy.